Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
So it's another round of Get Connected session today. Today is 10th of February. Okay. So what is the topic today?
Sharing my experience in big firms and publicly listed company.
Yeah. Which big firms? Which?
I was worked in video for 4.5 years.
Okay.
It's my first career.
So shortly after your schools.
Yes. Actually, I did my internship in video. Afterwards, I continue my another 4 years in video.
I see. So basically, you are which university you come from?
I come from Management and Science University.
No, which? Local U or foreign U?
Local U.
Local U.
Located in KL.
So what made you to choose PDO over the Big Four or over the Big Eight? I think PDO is not Big Four, right?
Last time they called themselves as Big Five lah.
Big Five lah.
The reason why I chose one is usually because natural is the race wise. We are not so flexible to join the small firms as Indians got some restriction to entering to the field. So if we choose the big firms, it's the most easy way to enter because they are multinational companies and they are welcoming all the races. So they will have a multiple race, so easy to adapt to the culture.
Which branch of BDO?
I was working in JB branch.
Oh, JB branch. I thought you always work in. I thought you are working in Malacca or you were in.
No, but because our partners that time only have one partners in JB. So if for public listed company, usually we will have two partners. So we are quite frequently travel to KL.
So roughly tell me what is the role and what is the job scope in PDO? I mean last 2 years lah.
Last 2 years.
Seniors. I presume you are start from scratch, right?
Yeah,
from
definitely.
Intern, junior, thing like that. So what's your last position?
Senior.
Okay.
Audit senior. Because we roughly will have a rough ideas from the internship to the first years. We mostly will focus on the vouching and the small dormant companies.
Okay.
After the second years, then we will slowly start up with the active companies. But because we are in a JV branch, actually we got a certain opportunity to do the solicitors companies. So different kind of audit, LMW audits. Those things actually was trained in my second years. Then in the third years and fourth years, then we will go for the construction and property development companies.
So basically,
and public listed.
Every year or every position, the portfolio is fixed in my branch.
Yes.
Am I right to say so?
Yeah.
No, sorry, because I don't work in Big Four before or Big Five before. So okay.
They kind of have a very structural program. So we just follow the program, and if let's say we speed, then they will enhance the speed for us.
I see. So I think most of people were more interested because listed co audit. I think it's very stressful. I think for outsiders, it's very stressful. Am I right to say so?
For auditor also very stressful.
Yeah, of course. I'm saying it from auditor point of view.
Yeah.
Stressful. How stressed?
Because we will need to rush the report. Usually within the 3 months after the year end, we need to launch the report to post submission, right? So that is the time of limitation of time. So will cause us to have the stress point, even though everyone is supporting now.
So 3 months to launch the report, meaning by the time client give you, it should be 15. Let's say it's 31st December. 31st December. So normally when client will give you the report?
Usually client will give us within 1 week after the closing.
After that is fast, right? I think that is the strength and the speed of a listed co, right?
Yes.
And actually, I would say it's a 15 days thing like that because as I know, all the listed co they have a tight schedule to meet, right?
Yes.
So, 10 days is very fast.
Yeah, actually, because the time frame is very limited, so usually we'll encourage to have the interim section first.
Yeah. So basically, it's about by 15 you should get the management report already.
Yes.
Okay. So
immediate process for planning audit plannings. After that, we will go for the field work. Usually, can estimate we will be in a client place about 3 to 4 weeks time.
So roughly about 1 month time in client place.
Correct.
So let's say this is outstation assignment, you'll be stationed in KL, or you'll be stationed in KL for 1 month. Am I right to say so?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So,
But the teamwork, it will be the great strength for the public listed auditing teams.
I see. Is there a life working in listed co? I mean, how the hours? Normally, what kind of time frame you?
Because it's leased, we need to complete very fast the assignment. So actually, it's the teamwork. We will can say I very appreciate the entire team together with me to complete the assignments. Everyone will have a proper schedule, and for big firms style is we fix the term, then we will actually ensure to meet the deadline as same as a KTP culture as well.
So normally you work until what time?
Frankly to speak, I will maximum work until 10 or 11 only.
Oh, that's normal because we have heard horror story. You need to work until strange hour in the morning, thing like that.
But I do admit I do work until 4 o'clock a.m. Once in a while I do that, but not every day because it will affect my health as well. So usually we try to make it around 10 to 10, 11. After that we take a rest. Then maybe the early morning we will wake up and then do continue work.
So when the client open shop say 9 o'clock, you'll be there already.
Yes. Usually we kind of be another employee for them for that period.
I understand that. So normally, I presume weekend you also need to work, right?
Yeah. During the auditing the public listed companies, usually we work 7 days because the deadline is a bit close, and we need to ensure the quality of the audit assignment as well. Because for public listed company, we will be audited by AOB as well.
Yeah, I know. So maybe you can explain what is AOB for those who are not understand.
This is a board where actually it's an independent board to review our audit working papers to ensure the quality is there, because we are auditing the public listed company which is involved the the normal people's fund used for run the business of the company, right? So therefore the independent and the information given should be the accuracy there. So we cannot simply audit and close eyes audit. This kind of things is not allowed.
So maybe I can elaborate more. I think since in auditing industry in Malaysia, I think we are governed by MIA, Malaysia Institute of Accountants. So all the audit work we have to follow the MIA standard, thing like that. But besides that, once you're auditing in listed company, listed co is different story. So government has set up AOB to oversee the quality of the work. I think when it comes to AOB, I think the auditor was scared, right? I think the most challenging, right?
Actually, I got the experience. One of the public listed that are in charge, Kena AOB, because that one maybe is gifted to have this opportunity now, because everyone when that time I think it's the second year is introduced the AOB. It recently was introduced that time.
Yes.
So that time is a very
2001.
2000.
14, 13.
14, I think.
1314.
Around
I think
there. So that time when we first year somehow I didn't choose my mind, so it was chosen the KL branch. Then in the second year for video they chose the JB branch.
It's a good experience.
Definitely, it's I feel it's gifted. Even though that time I was very stressed out, because once AOB, then we very afraid any of our mistake will resulted the hang of the partner's license. So the responsibility is very high at time, and we try to re-enhance the quality or ensure everything fit to the quality of the public listed, because any small mistake we can result the partner's license being hanged. And it also will be announced in the public what is the mistake we have been done. So to avoid this kind of things, actually we have another round. We sit and ensure all our working paper properly document down and everything. And during the audit, actually the AOB person in charge will contact us and do the interview section. And they won't give us much time to respond to their question, and each time they question us, we must be well prepared with the answer. So I think that time together.
They're very strict, right?
Yeah, very strict.
They're very.
But I feel they have done their work because they are also work for people.
Security commissions.
So I think very good experience. And the time together with me, my partner was together, Mr. Sri. So appreciate his help during that entire process.
So I think this is one of the most challenging or most memory for you, right? During the PDO period, right? 4.5 year period.
Yes, and actually the last year is very memorable for me because I was gifted to get 2 public listed group in the same year. So after March year end, then I was doing the September year end, and it will become around November.
So after 4.5 years, I think as usual, most of all the people in Big 4 and Big 8 or they will go to commercial industry, right?
Yeah.
So what's the reason? When you moved to 201?
I moved around in my age of 29 that time because as everyone thinking, actually we feel like audit field is a very tiring field. So at that age, I actually do think the same. I have an opinion, maybe I've done, but at that moment I feel it's done. But when I go to the commercial, then I realize actually there is no done words actually supposed to be there. So I was like, understand my own mistake that I have made lah. Because why I feel so is actually all the field is very good. Every field have, my opinion, every field have their own strength and weakness. What I feel I'm different is my opinion doesn't suit my characteristic. So when I go to commercial, actually it's a good environment and new portfolio for me.
So what before you proceed, tell us something about your role or your position of that company. Don't mention the name, please. Okay, don't mention the name.
I was appointed as assistant manager for account department. So we was mainly because that time when I entered, they're having some difficulties on the receivable part. So I was work on few months to clearing up all the debtors and then all up to the current. And I also try to improve the collection for the company. Afterwards, actually, we also engage on the getting more facilities for the companies. Banking facilities.
So do you involve in writing proposal, projection to the bankers?
That one is done by my manager. We assisting giving the information to them. And once the approval happen, then we will start to give all the supporting document to enhance to get the facilities.
So, Sim, what's the challenge?
Okay, the year I go.
You mentioned your challenge in audit firm is AOB audit, and then what is the challenge in commercial industry?
The period I working in the commercial industry, actually that is the time actually the GST come in. So it's something new for us, and it's a manufacturing company. I was working in a manufacturing company, so the implementation, everything actually need a lot of studies, and because we are also having overseas shipments and everything, and we got go through all the requirements as we also LMW registered company. So
do you involve any third party GST agent or you do it yourself?
We have an advisory from the third party, but most of the implementation we do it internally because we need to cross all the departments to get the info and implement.
So the third party basically is an advisory role. So basically the implementation will be done by your side.
Yes.
Challenging, right? Switching into GST.
Very challenging, Mr. Ko, because in commercial, for the audit field, we will feel everyone is have a same background with us. But in a commercial, what we feel is everyone have a different field. Actually, it's a like kind of collaboration of their knowledge. So when the GST things come in, we actually got educate them back. Actually, why we need the GST and how it works into the relative departments. Because actually it's also joint venture, because all the information they gather will link to the accounting software where this will produce the final outcome.
I think people is one thing, and then also the IT part is another thing.
Yes.
I believe that time we are the Malaysian, the first time experience GST. I think the system is still, and then GST policy guidelines keep on changing.
Yes.
I can relate to that experience. I think luckily GST haven't come in yet.
Yeah, so the time when they go through, because for commercial, once we implement, we must ensure it's correct, because if any wrong or misleading things, it's resulted as penalty. So that is make us very careful on this part, and thank God we can overcome it, and then the GST was implemented quite smoothly. And after the GST implementation, actually we do change our company software on accounting.
What software is that?
Previously we were using AirPack software. After that we got changed to ERP system.
Oh, that's good.
So I think
you still experience. So you have first hands-on experience on the
ERP system.
Oh, that's interesting. Interesting.
So
which SAP?
Yeah, correct. SAP ERP system.
That is. It can be 2-3 years project, right?
Yes, because the time we implement until the accounting software, then after that only we switch to the inventory system, because manufacturing, the inventory is the heartbeat of the manufacturing as well.
That is a so-called godfather of ERP system.
Yes.
The godfather, I know, SAP. So that time do you attend any seminars in overseas or anything like that for SAP training?
Actually, we didn't attend the overseas trainings, but we was trained by the local ERP people. Our main people is come from Taiwan.
Oh, Taiwan.
Taiwanese actually.
They speak English?
I can. Yeah. Because difficulties is there, definitely is there, because they will speak in Mandarin. Then we try to adopt to understand a bit.
一点点 okay.
But
So how long have you been working over there?
In public listed company, I work about 4 years also.
Also 4 years. So basically, so what is the memorable events or thing like that in your commercial industry?
Actually, for me,
people are different, right?
Yeah, totally different. Actually, for me,
boss also different, right?
Yeah. Because we have the, how to say, from audit field, when I go to the commercial field, actually I have to admit I have the culture shock. To adapt myself to the industry, I feel like, okay, because in audit field we always you can do this improvement, you can do that improvement. When you are in the position that you doing the improvement, then actually the pain is there, because it's actually everything in commercial is teamwork. So how you communicate, how you align everyone goal to one goal is actually a quite how to say, challenging. But once we can done, then that is the gifted.
So because I would say that commercial anyway is a business oriented business entity. I think everything is dollar and cents.
Correct.
But in auditing line, especially in the big video, I think yes, video is a profit entity. Quality also must be there.
Yeah.
Yes, must be there. So you cannot be chin chai all these things.
Yeah.
I see. So, looking back, 8.5 years, video, listed co, why move back to audit line?
Actually, I enjoy all the field, but why I come back to audit field is because I feel I have my own strength on the audit field. Because in commercial I can sustain, but I want to have a better growth. So I feel like in the audit, maybe I can try to grow better. So that is the reason why I come back. And actually I feel like also it's gifted. When once I come back to KTP, then I was actually was gifted to get trained to the taxation part, because previously we only do the provision of tax. We didn't in charge any tax compliance. So once come back, actually I also learned the tax, and I also gifted to get the special voluntary program to perform the special voluntary program, and enhance also I have opportunity to share my thoughts, my experience with my fellow colleagues to enhance the qualities here.
So because before I proceed, I still remember because how we met Punitha the first time in the job fairs in Kotaraya, right?
Yeah.
I think it's Kotaraya. Yeah, it's a job fair. It's a government sponsored job fair. I can't remember the name. I think it's 2-day event. I think I'm not sure whether I was there. I don't think I was there. But the moment they told me Indian colleague, Indian people had come for interview, I say, interesting, let me have a look, thing like that. So, inshallah, that's how we get hold of you. So, why KTP? Because you worked in a big company before in PDO, you worked in a big company in listed coal. KTP, a small company, right? Why? Because, why?
Because at that time, actually by journey of the these two companies, actually in between I actually have my personal things happen. I married and I got kids and everything.
Yes.
So I feel it's the time for me to slow down, but same time I want to learn. I still want to grow, have a career growth. So when come to this point, I have this limitation that actually I got do a lot of search. Then I found I don't want to go to any small firms that actually I will stop learning, because
How you know KTP?
Because based on the previous Facebook media posts and everything, and actually I also do a survey with others, my other friends, because mostly even though I'm Indian, I have a multiracial friends. So when searched by mouth, actually they got mentioned actually KTP. That time they will mention KTP is a very strict firm. So I feel it's quite interesting for me, definitely, sir, because I want quality, at the same time I want the growth. So I feel this, then actually then I go to the career fair, then I meet Miss Kim, represent
Miss Kim.
represent our firm.
Oh, it's interesting.
Then from there I feel like, oh, okay, maybe can try, give a try, and I think that's why I'm here.
So basically, that time your focus is different because you're married with 2 kids, things like that.
Yeah, correct.
So focus is, you can't say, you don't want to work in the kind of stressful, big company atmosphere. Am I right to say?
Yeah, maybe I feel I cannot give that much of commitment as I was single, because public listed actually is need commitment. Once we commit, then we should run full run and ensure the things finish. But I'm not to say here I will be relaxed, no, but I will.
No, this.
But it's what I feel is at least I can manage my time, and the same time the growth and the
You manage your time?
I think so.
How long you been working here already? I think it's 4 years already.
5 years already.
Almost 5 years already. Yeah.
This is my 5th year.
So you want to learn? Do you meet your objective?
Yeah, definitely.
What type of growth you are talking about? Would you mind to share?
Previously, when I was working in audit, I was fully trained under the audit departments. So the most we do the tax part is only provision and deferred tax.
It's basic tax.
Basic only. So sometimes at that time I may have some challenging to give advisory part. Because audit is more on compliance purpose, so I can measure, okay, you can have this control, that control, and everything. But was helpful or not is always a questionnaire to me, because for the business people, they more focusing on the profit and the how can save the tax. But I'm lacking at this point at the moment.
So let me share, because I told you most of the people I told. You are young for newcomers. you need to learn more things. I'm not saying, because I'm a firm believer in generalists, okay? So meaning not only you need to learn audit, you need to learn tax as well, because in outside world, in business world, people more like, if say, people more like, more interested or more keen on the tax rather than audit. I think, so that's why we do audit and tax at the same time. People may say that, this is small company, Chinaman firm, thing like that, but I think it differently. So that's why most of them, I'm glad you say that at least you know because our tax is not that bad, okay? We also follow
the
strictly,
regulation.
okay? We also follow strictly the income tax act. We also follow the public ruling thing like that, okay? So I think I can say that technical knowledge is there already. How about other things like the growth in your leaderships and your management?
Previously we always guide the small teams. When come to here is a new opportunity also for me to learn. And first definitely I feel the challenging here. When the first time I come I'm the only Indian, so I do admit I take time to adapt myself to everyone.
Luckily you can listen Mandarin.
I think after the adoption, then I feel actually after the teamwork, I gather the power, then only I think I can help each other already. So when the time happened, then I feel like, okay, technical wise, be very strong. Mr. Ko will give us kind of a guidance by giving the quiz of the day questions, because that is the point. I say, okay, if this client asks this kind of question, how we can answer them professionally. So how to code the sections, everything. And that time also Mr. Ko gave me opportunity to write the media post, everything. Then it's actually the first time I try on the writing in the social media, because in the previous I admit I didn't write any media posts, or even my Facebook, I think I'm the most inactive person. So I feel after come to this, then I enhance my writing. Then second is I start to learn the tax cases. Even though public ruling all we read, then I also go and study my tax cases, because I feel like once the tax cases I read, then I can understand the scenario. So thank you, Mr. Ko, for giving the opportunity.
Let's don't narrow say that it is social media posting. My intention is, my objective is that so I want my people to know how to research. Not everything is in Google one.
Yes, correct.
Of course, nowadays you got ChatGPT next time, I think. So, first objective is you know where to get the answers.
Yeah.
You must know where to get the answers. Second thing is you must know how to write. So that's my purpose. And then third, you must write professionally and then convince me, convince the clients, convince IRB officers, technically, things like that.
Yes, correct.
So don't say that this is social media posting. It's just part of our training process. Yes.
Yeah, part of training. Yeah,
Yes. Other than that, any?
Other than that, actually, here Mr. Ko also give me allowance to go for the trainings and everything.
Everywhere boss also give training. I think in your listed co also people give you training, right? In your PDO also, your boss also, ex-boss also give you training, right?
Actually, even video, actually we have our own learning center, everything. But the one I thank Mr. Ko is because here we usually, after that actually we will write the reflection. After the reflection, maybe we extract the information about 50%, but afterwards we will do the training back. When we give training and teach others, actually the absorption rate I found is more.
This is very stressful, most of the attendees they find it very stressful to teach people.
Yes, this I admit is at the moment will be stressed, but I found myself the retention will be longer compared to I just attend the training, then I keep aside. I feel giving the reflection, I feel is very useful for myself, and also I feel by guiding others, then also will helpful for others.
So let's summarize everything. So what's the main difference between auditing line and commercial lines?
Auditing line and audit.
Accounting line, I don't say accounting line, okay? Like accounting professional under MIA, okay? And commercial line.
Okay, accounting line is mostly on the compliance and regulations. Okay, when you go to the commercial, it's totally different world, where actually you will look at the profit things, and we will try to enhance the cash flows, those part, and the focus will be different. So when the implementation part, when we go and we will discover that actually they need a lot of social skills and soft skills. Each time we want to present something, we need to persuade the person. Not every time I say the person will need to believe me.
Because I think in auditing line, in accounting line, chances are you only deal with clients.
Correct.
Most likely client will listen to you. Most likely, otherwise they will qualify report, right? But in commercial line, it's totally different ball game. Stakeholder is different.
Yes.
It can be suppliers. It can be your customers. It can be bankers. It can be your board of directors. It can be your audit committees, things like that.
Yes.
Different background, different. So it's kind of a variety, and then you have to wear different hat in one day.
Yes, because everyone is have a different background.
Yes.
So when we communicate with them, we need to match with their background to deliver what we are trying to say. Because if we just talking in accounting wise, maybe they feel like what we are saying is just the regulations. So sometimes we need to go to their stand, their shoes to deliver what we want to deliver, so that what we want to get it done can help to done.
I always told you guys, but because don't different background, don't always use jargon language, technical language that laymen don't understand, right?
Yeah, correct.
Any other things? Pressures?
Pressures. Actually, this one want to have the short sharing, because when I was in big firms, then we were thinking actually the commercial will be very relaxed, very this one, but in the fact actually it's not really like that. It's different industry only, but you have their own stress and individual part. In audit you maybe have a deadline, those things can give you stress, but in commercial maybe it's not the workload stress, but you have other stress to communicate, to avoid any politics, those kind of things you try to avoid, right?
I think
so there is
commercial also got reporting deadline.
Correct.
Auditing also got reporting deadline. But as I told you before, commercial more stakeholder involved.
Yes, correct.
With different backgrounds.
Yeah.
So in auditing line it's very simple. But in auditing, in video, things like that, you only deal with your audit teams.
Yes.
And your clients. And most of the clients, they say yes. Most of the time, not all the time, because they want to get a clean report.
Especially for the big public listed companies,
Yes.
because they are rushing as well, because they cannot hold for longer.
Yes.
And quite cooperative, almost gifted in the public big firms is client is very cooperative. It's two ways to help each other.
So
method.
commercial people, you will get scolded by.
To admit, yes. If first we need to know how to communicate, because from the audit, I think we are more to introvert type. Then suddenly go to the commercial, actually we'll be trying to explore more. Then that is the time actually I was learn how to communicate, how to persuade people, and how to get the things done. So last time we say, okay, can you help me to give these documents? Then I will get it ready. But when I go to commercial, I want to get the payment from our side. Everything is like two ways winning point. Okay, for this part, okay, you help me this part, I will help you this part, then get the things done. Something like this kind of negotiation is a lot happen there.
One of XPM say that you help me, I help you. Okay. I think more or less we have covered 40 minutes already. Thanks for your time. Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
Sharing, because why I need to bring this, because as you know, people are leaving us to commercial industry. You it's a good example to tell them what kind of expectation or what kind of experience you should see. Hopefully, my people can learn this as well. Thanks for your sharing. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.